Good evening, everyone, and welcome. Bonsoir, tout le monde, et bienvenue. This is Victor Alpha 3 Charlie Juliet Zulu, opening the Amateur Radio Exchange AREG for Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023. Today marks 1,540 weeks that AREG has been on the air consecutively. My name is Chuck, and my station is located in East Hamilton. This net is on every Wednesday night, starting at 8 p.m. and ending at 10 p.m. local time here on 146.430 megahertz. And we also stream the net live on YouTube, so people who tune in can hear how they sound into my station and see their signal strength as well as see my station. Just type my call into the YouTube search box. And again, it's VA3CJZ. And you can look for us live tonight or under the title AREG Week 1540. And lastly, we ask that you please leave a 2-second delay between transmissions to allow others to break in. May I now have check ins for this evening's AREG?
VA3 CKZ VE3 WKG.
All right, we've got two stations there. We've got CKZ and WKG. So let's bring in VA3 CKZ. I believe that's Chris. Come on in.
Hi, good evening, Chuck. Appreciate that you're on again tonight. I finally got my mobile working and my antenna up, and I'm able to get on the air now, which is kind of nice.
Absolutely. Congratulations. And I'm not sure, but I know I heard you on Arpad's net there, but did you know that his net is on the 70 centimeter frequency of 446.125? I do believe you were transmitting off of this frequency here because when Arpad does the net, I use my crossband for some people that have a hard time getting into Arpad's net. So, but just so you know, I think you were transmitting here on 146430, and Arpad's net is on every Monday through Thursday on 446.125. So if you want to write that down, maybe try going in direct on that frequency next time, because that is the frequency for the Lake Ontario net there. Chris, over.
Yeah, oh, thank you. Appreciate it. Yeah, I was on the VHF frequency for sure. Yeah.
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. I just thought that I would point it out that I'm just a helper when we don't use a repeater. I have a radio here that can cross band from this frequency over to the 70 centimeter side. So 446.125. You want to try that tomorrow, or I don't know. Maybe our pad's even still doing the net. I had to shut off the crossband there. That's why it went silent because I turned it off so I could start the net here. So, anyways, again, Chris, whereabouts are you? You sound like you're pretty close here. You're full strength.
I'm just off of Parkdale in Maine, and I'm actually only transmitting on 5 watts tonight. I got the box on low, so.
Beautiful. Well, like I said, you're full strength over here. You can even watch us live on YouTube. Just put in VA3CJZ in the YouTube search there, and you can see us. You can see my station and see and listen to yourself. Just move the slider at the bottom there. The time is 8:05 p.m. Once you get it there, just put it to 8:03, 8:04, and you'll be able to hear yourself.
Sounds like a plan. Thanks very much. Okay. Have a good night. Thanks. VA3 CKZ clear.
Okay, VA3. I think I wrote. Yeah, I did. VA3 CKZ. All right. Well, there's going to be lots of information coming at you from every direction there, Chris. And I know I think you're just getting started. I don't know if you had previous experience, but there's a lot to take in, but it's a lot of fun. So we're here for a couple of hours tonight. If you want to take off and maybe come back in a little bit, we'll give you another call once we do our second round there, Chris. So thanks for checking in. Let's move down and say hello to my neighbor, VE3WKG. Kevin, come on in. I hear you got a new call.
Yeah, good evening, Chuck, and everyone on the net. Yeah, I don't have it. I'm not using it yet. I'll use it when the thing comes in the mail, or maybe even once it shows up on Industry Canada site. But as of now, it hasn't. Yeah, VA3 Night Evil. No, Northeast, I guess, Night Evil. But yeah, Chris is full scale to me, seeing that I'm just across the street from you. But I noticed a big difference. Tom came and dropped me off the ground radios for this tram antenna today. So I took the little ones off, put the big ones on, and I didn't notice a whole lot of difference at first on AREG net till NFL keyed up, and I noticed I don't get them crackly anymore. It was hard to hear him before. I used to hear him better through your antenna when you had the crossband on. And now I put these bigger ground radios on, and he was coming in. He was only lighting up 2 of my bars, but he was full, like no crackle at all, coming in nice. So I did notice a difference there, and I noticed a difference on the Niagara Falls and Toronto repeaters. Toronto repeaters come in full scale to me now. And, I guess it's a good antenna, that tram. But back to you there, Chuck. I don't want to tie it up too much there. I think there's about 21 others that want to check in behind me there.
Yeah. You never know. Started off pretty quiet there on AREG net tonight. Everybody was a little gun shy, didn't want to get on the air. I don't know. But we'll see what we can do. And yeah, it's funny because I have a Ringo Ranger for 2 meters, a separate antenna from my Diamond. And I wasn't able to reach it to my other radio, so I had to get a barrel connector, put a 3-foot patch cord, and then now I'm able to reach it because I was using a directional, my 2-meter beam pointed west for the crossband, and it kind of limits the range. So I decided I'll put the Ringo Ranger on there, and I think it's Ringo Ranger, but the Ringo antenna seems to be working all right. I just can't put out more than 5 watts because it'll fry that radio, because it's getting used when it's on crossband. It's like non-stop, right?
Oh yeah, I know. When I got the one I'm on here, the 5100, it's got crossband repeat, and I tried it one time there. Actually, I was crossbanding your net here onto the Simplex frequency where ARPAD holds his net. And Pierre and ARPAD, they were waiting for people to unkey. That night, people were chatty on here. I think you were too, but I think it was around the time, I forget, where you were keying up. I think you might have been doing on this day, or, your big announcement stuff, and then somebody else keyed up, they're keyed up, and they're keyed up long. And I noticed my fan wouldn't go off because it's always in transmit mode, like you say. If it's not on one side, it's the other in transmit mode. Oh, yeah, you don't want to have it on 50 watts when that's going on. Yeah, even on the 5 watts, yeah, they get a little warm. My radio now, it's not that bad. It's got a little micro fan in it, but yeah, I keep it in a cool spot down in the desk in a little cubby hole. But yeah, good old crossband comes in good, eh? Like I said before, I used to listen to Al coming in on yours because I couldn't make out what he said on mine. He was all crackly, but
yeah,
tonight I heard him no problem. I was surprised, so I thought, oh wow, what a difference ground planes make.
Oh yeah, for receive especially, ground planes help a lot. And so right on. Glad you got it working better. And now you'll all we need is better conditions there, because I know sunspots have been down this week, like they're only at 60 something today. Normally we're at like 150, 125. You know what I mean? And so it's a big difference in the sunspots. So what else is new and exciting there, Kev?
Same old. Just waiting. I don't know if you heard. I ordered one of them little radios like Pierre's. Little radio, $500. But they're nice little radios. I got the Pac 12. So then I bought that battery. I think I think I sent you a picture of it too.
That's right.
Can't believe that little battery's only 150 grams. Can't believe it, the weight of it. I could almost just carry that around in my pocket. But that should last me a while, with 5 or 10 watts, I think. So anyhow, I'd probably, each time I go out, only be out a couple hours. Well, that's what me and Pierre thought the other day. We were out, I think the first time we were out about 3 or 4 hours at Confederation Park. Then we went to his house, had a break, had a coffee and that. Then I went and had some McDonald's before we went to Battlefield there. Shoot back a couple burgers. And yeah, that was a lot of fun sitting in the parks. I can't believe how good I received that little radio had, but maybe it could have been the location down on the beach. And he hooked up, what was it? Like 66 feet of wire or something like that.
Yeah.
Maybe it was longer at the time. I think he cut it after. But we had it just 5 feet off the ground going horizontally. And I couldn't believe, Colin on the mountain, I went on the Transprovincial net. Colin was just booming in. Larry out in Woodstock, GIO, he was just booming in. And I couldn't believe how they could hear us so good on QRP. And then Sammy in Toronto, I could finally understand and hear him good. He was booming in 30 over. Well, we were right there by the lake, just across the lake from him. But he was booming in. It sounded like he was right in the Jeep. So I love the sound, and I love that little radio so bad I had to buy one.
All right, very good, Kevin. Well, we'll save some more conversation for the next round there, and I'm sure we've got plenty to chat about. So let's see if we got anybody else out there that would like to join us here on the Amateur Radio Exchange Group. My name is Chuck, and my call sign is Victor Alpha 3 Charlie Juliet Zulu. Over here by the Center Mall in Hamilton. Any new check-ins, please come now.
Victor Alpha 3 November Charlie Alpha.
Echo 3, Charlie Echo Uniform.
Victor Alpha 3 India Mike Whiskey, and that was KCI right behind me.
Okay, I heard a few stations there. I heard NCA, Charlie Echo Uniform, KCI, and IMW. So let's go up and say hello to Wade, VA3 November Charlie Alpha. Come on in, Wade.
VA3 CJZ, VA3 NCA. Hi, Chuck. Good evening, and good evening to all on net. Another AREG. Very, very nice way to spend a Wednesday evening. Today was a work from work day, so I was on the campus, so I didn't get much radio done. But I am still waiting, semi-patiently anyways, for my my Arizona POTA contact. Hunted Arizona finally. It was I have 3 missing states. If you include the wild card, only 2. And Arizona was one of them, and I got them a day and a half ago, and they haven't uploaded their logs yet. So I'm waiting patiently or impatiently for that to happen, and then I'll be within 1, including the wild card of the hunted all states. So playing around with that. Weird bend conditions for it, though. It was 20 meters, and it was fading to nothing, absolutely zero. You couldn't hear a thing, all the way up to it had to be about a 5.5 for that distance. Was pretty nice to hear. So that was a lot of fun. But he hasn't uploaded yet, so we'll see. I'm sure he will, but maybe we'll collect him for a couple days first. Anyways, I'll send it back to you, Chuck. Thanks for running the AREG, and I'll be hanging around for the duration and listening in. VA3NCA, back to you.
Okay, very good there, Wade. Yeah, just to bring up another topic there, Arpad was talking about split operation, VFO split. Now, if you've got a VFO-A and VFO-B, chances are you've got split operation in the menu somewhere. Like, I mean, otherwise, what's the point of having VFO-A and VFO-B? And so I've used it on the 857. It works on all the bands from VHF, UHF, all the way through HF. There are a few stations that listen on one frequency and transmit on another, and it throws me right off every time they do that. And then I got to go into the menu and then engage the split operation there. It's a little tricky, but once you know what how to program your radio, it's fairly straightforward.
Yeah, right. QSL for sure. I actually got that done. Your crossband worked for me getting out to RPAD, and on receive, since I couldn't pick up your transmitted 5 watts from the crossband, I had it split to pick up him on direct. So with his good transmission side, I could receive him but not send to him, and with your good receive side on crossband, I could transmit to him through you. So it's a bit of a Rube Goldberg contraption, I guess, but it was split that let me do it. I did remember playing around with it back when the United Nations station was on the air and taking taking calls or whatever, and they were operating split as well. And I think it was at that time that I first dug into the menus and tried to figure it out. But then, it worked well again tonight. Now that you've got the power up, actually running the net tonight, I'm receiving you just fine. But I guess because your crossband is dialed back on the transmit power, probably I'm guessing to protect the receive. But anyways, when it's dialed back, I don't quite receive you. But getting you really clearly tonight, nice clear signal to me. It's sounding great. Back to you, Chuck, the A3NCA.
Yeah, Wade, before I move along there, you're absolutely right. The reason is the radio never stops. It's always transmitting for an hour straight. When RPAD runs his net, people are talking nonstop, right? So it would just heat up my radio like you wouldn't believe. So it does have a built-in fan, and I do have an audio video fan, like a component fan on top where the heat sinks are as well. So I'm fairly well protected from the heat, but just to be safe, we leave it at 5 watts for the net. But if I wanted to just play around and use the crossband for another purpose other than for a net, I'm sure I could, turn the power up and down as I like, seeing how well the radio would respond to it. So, yep, that's the reason. Okay, Wade, thank you very much, sir. We will get back to you around next time around. Let's bring in VE3 Charlie Echo uniform. Come on in, Tomasz.
VE3 CJZ, VE3 CEU. Good evening, Chuck and everybody else on the net. Yeah, second that I checked into here, so I wanted to pop my signal. I took the other video there. I got I fixed one of my antennas, so I'm going to check back with you just a bit later. You up out of S9.
Okay, very good there, Tomas. Yeah, I've got you at 10 over S9 here at Eastgate, the Center Mall on Barton here in Hamilton. So 10 over S9. We do have some QRM, but no problem. You're making it there. And so what, you're going to come back with a different antenna?
Yeah, I'm going to use the other radio with the same power I've got a 5/8 wave 2-meter antenna that I just fixed the end of the coax in, so I don't want to see test it out and make sure it's working properly.
Okay. Do you need a minute, or can you do that quickly, or do you want me to wait?
No, that's okay. I'll do that on the second round.
All right. Sounds good. All right. By the way, I'm getting that QRM at S7 here. So good for you, Mr. Quirmer. All right. So we've got, we'll get back to you, Tom, in a bit. And next I have VE3 KCI, but I have a funny feeling we're going to need a relay. So let's see if Art can hear me there. VE3 KCI, VA3 CJZ. And I don't hear anything. Mac, are you still there?
Roger that. V3KCI, VA3IMW, you're up, and it's your turn. I'm not sure if you heard Chuck or not, but you got the mic. Well, it looks like he's moved on to something else, or maybe he's gone off to the little boys' room. Who knows? Anyways, back to you, Chuck.
Yeah. Well, some people think that they're going to be taken right away, but we do have an order in which the check-ins come in. So, and that's how it's done. But we'll log Art in there anyways. And next we'll go to VA3IMW. Come on in, Mac.
Okay, Chuck, did you get a copy on any of Art's transmission?
Absolutely zero. I've even tried another radio with another antenna and nothing, but I got one more radio to try.
Okay, he was saying that you're coming to him with an S2 or 3, so you're down in the noise, but other than that, no real traffic. Anyways, Art, you're sounding good and lively, full of energy. That's good news. How's everything else going in your world?
No.
Another new radio. So this one is the that fancy Yaesu with the extensive menus. What's that? The 981 or 991 or something? There you go. There you go. Welcome to the club. Yeah, I'm sure everybody that I know that has an ICOM, they appreciate it for what it is. And strangely enough, the people that have gotten used to running Yaesu radios, they don't mind the fancy menus and all the rest of the fiddle faddling around they have to do. But yeah, which model of ICOM are you looking at?
No.
A 9700. That's a lot of radio.
Wow.
9700 actually includes capabilities for 1.2 gigahertz, so microwave operation. So that's, yeah, it's also a big dollar ticket on there. Wow. Okay. If that's what you're headed for, I wish you all the best. Anyways, are you going to stick around for a while tonight, or are you just going to be a quick in and out? Okay, roger that. Well, I trust the surgery goes well for you. And yeah, vision is something that we all rely on. I'm still running my ICOM 7100. I find the display very, very pleasant. There's a good contrast between the letters and numbers in the backlit display, and the frequency readout is large characters, so that's all good. And the 7100, I think you can get it still about $1,400 or $1,500 mark, and sometimes you get rebates on top of that. So, anyways, it's a little bit lighter pack at your wallet than the 9700 would be. All right. So if you're gonna check out before we get back around to you on the second round, just give me a short, and I'll let Chuck know that you're saying goodnight. How about that? Okay, QSL, understood. Yeah, that's still a big chunk of change. Okay, Art, you're going to stick around for a little while, and just let us know when you're going to toddle off to bed so we can say our 73s. Okay, 73's Art, and Chuckles for Chuck. Roger that. So, Chuck, I'm not sure how much you heard, but just let me recap. Art's looking for a different radio. He's looking at ICOMs as an option, so he's not sure which model he is going to settle for. Obviously, he's been looking at the 9700, which is a whole lot of radio. And sounds like he's going to temporarily mothball the Yaesu 991A. And other than that, it sounds like he's also going to head off to bed shortly. So he's given everybody a sweet good night kiss. And I'll turn it back to you, Chuck.
Okay, very good then, Mac. No, I could not hear Art at all. Even on the other radio with the directional antenna, I mean, he was coming in very, very choppy, and I couldn't get a clear copy. Now, I noticed Wade, that lives in Dundas, which is much closer to Art than I am, said Art is breaking the squelch here in Dundas, but with a lot of noise. It's a hard copy. So I'm wondering if he's on a new radio and the power is down, or the power is down on it on the radio he's using now. So those are my thoughts there, Mac.
Well, I would suggest the power is not down. He's still utilizing that indoor antenna. So he's living in a big steel box. And I guess the other thing is that even though the antenna is near a window, a lot of these new apartment buildings have the UV films on the windows. That's actually a metallic content, and it traps RF. So while it keeps the sun out, it does other nasty things for people that are trying to get their signal out. So Yeah, Paul and I had previously gone over and tried to make some modifications to the setup, but obviously Rick found the best option for his current setup there. So, yeah, he's finding the Yaesu radio is a little bit involved. He's going to be looking for something that is more easy on the eyes, so to speak. And he's got some additional eye surgery coming up in the near future. So all things that we need to consider as time keeps on ticking by and we all get older. And we all keep getting older because if you don't get older, you stop, and that's a bad thing too. Anyways, I'm sure there's probably going to be a whole lineup of folks. So I'm not going to monopolize things. Just glad to be along for another Chuck Hump Day. Anyways, go ahead and see if there's a ton more people that you can fill that log with. Go ahead, Chuck.
Yeah, okay, Mac, very good. And if I'm not mistaken, Art's window faces west, which is not a very big help considering I'm east of him. Anyways, this is Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Juliet Zulu with the Amateur Radio Exchange Group, AREG, for Wednesday, March 22nd, 2023. My name is Chuck, and I'm here in the east end of Hamilton by the Center Mall, and we're looking for check-ins this evening. Anyone, anywhere, please come now.
VE3 DJZ.
Okay, I hear one station in there, VE3 DJZ. Huey, come on in.
Hello, Chuck and Mac and everybody else online. Good to hear you there, Chuck. I heard Art very clear at my location with my new diamond antenna, the Diamond 700, that expensive antenna like Garnet has. I heard him almost crystal clear at my location. That's really good. But otherwise than that, I'm just checking in, saying hi and how's everybody doing?
Yeah, very good there, Huey. I mean, 9 out of 10 people hear Art, no problem. But you have to tell my antenna and you have to tell Art's antenna to not have anything in between us, and we'll be able to hear each other properly. But there is something in between us that's keeping us from I can talk to everyone else in town except him. So there's obviously something reflecting, blocking something. And so we've been going through this now for the last 4 years. Nothing has changed. I have a diamond at 240 feet in the air. There's nothing wrong with it. There is just something blocking our signal. Plain and simple. Let's put this to bed.
Well, I'll have a discussion with your antenna. We'll come to a compromise. They need to stop having a grudge against each other. And life's too short to just connect to each other and enjoy it. You
got that right, Huey. Hey, by the way, have you spoken or heard from Cheech lately?
You know what? He never picks up his phone.
Oh, is that right, eh? Well, I just seen a post of his there to pretty much let people know that he to get a hold of him. So yeah, it's a double-edged sword, I guess.
Well, he had that post last week too. If he has a phone, he wants people to call him because he's distressed or depressed and he wants to commit suicide. Pick up the phone then. Don't sit there and tell people, then don't pick up the phone.
Absolutely. Plus, it doesn't help with it if you put your phone on silent.
I don't know if he's just doing it for attention, but it's just stupidness, if he's alive, he should be happy. Every day above ground, you should be happy. Enjoy life, man. Life's too short. Why would he want to kill himself? We're not, you know what? Yeah, we all have problems. You know what? Bypassing, life. As long as you're still living, that's all that matters, man. Fight for the right, you know what I mean?
Yes, I agree there, Huey. It's, I know, my mom went through that, so I know all about it there. It's pretty sad. But anyways, let's not keep talking about depressing things. Well, I'm going to have to because it looks like we're not going to get much better weather than this for another 3 more weeks. We're not going to hit double digits until almost the middle of April. So we got a ways to go yet. So we got to be patient.
Chuck, don't curse it, because you know what? We've been getting snowstorms every weekend now. I swear to God, when I catch that groundhog, he's never gonna be a groundhog shadow again.
Yeah. No more carrots for him. No more roughage. Yeah. Well, we had a very mild winter, and then she decided to play games with us every weekend for the last 3-4 weeks there. Oh dear. But anyways, I was just looking at the forecast, and yeah, it doesn't look until mid-April until we're going to see 10 degrees or just above 10. So yeah, it's going to be it's going to be one of those years where we're going to be behind the normal average by about 2 weeks.
All like you said, you know, Matt Hayes got fired because he couldn't predict the right future of the weather. I don't think nobody really can. You never know the way things are with Mother Nature. Tomorrow can be 30 degrees tomorrow. You know what? They don't know that. It could just happen. We'll just see how it goes to play by ear. But hopefully, no snow, man, because I really don't like the snow. I love the snow, but Christmas time.
Yeah, I love the snow too when I'm in Florida and I'm looking at it on television.
Yeah. You know, we might enjoy the snow while we can, because I'm sure one day, the way the climate goes, with all this stuff going on in the ozone layer, who knows? Wintertime might be a summertime, just like Florida, all year round.
Yeah, that means we're gonna have to start bringing the palm trees up here then. Who was it? I had a dentist, surgeon. He had one in his window there in his office. Yeah. But anyways, okay, Huey. Thanks for checking in. Much appreciated, sir. And do you have anything else for us?
Well, good job, Chucky. You know, really good. I'm picking up a lot of people on this new antenna here. Oh my God! And Garnet wasn't joking about the receive on it. It really, really gets out. All right, but you take care and have a good one. I'll be on the side.
Okay, very good, Huey, and congratulations on the new antenna there, and hope you enjoy it. It sounds like you are. Okay, so we'll clear with VE3DJZ and see who else wants to get on the list here. This is VA3CJZ with the AREG net for Wednesday, and we're looking for check-ins. Anyone, anywhere? Come on in.
VA3TGL.
VA3NFG.
VA3HPR.
Okay, I heard 3 stations there. I heard TGL, NFG, and HPR. So let's go ahead and say hi to Uwe, VE3 Tango Golf Lima. Come on in.
Thanks there, Chuck. V3TGL here. Just sitting here at home and just tuning up my my HF rig here. Trying to get my antenna up to on the 80 meter band. So I think I got it working. Now I'm gonna have to try it out. Other than that, no, I just remember your net was on. Thanks to Mac who mentioned it on the ACS net there earlier. And anyways, your signal is coming in pretty good. Say 3/4 scale, a little bit of noise, not too bad today. Signal's good all around. Anyways, back to you, V3 TGL.
Outstanding there, Uwe. You're the same over here, 3/4 strength, which equals to about 20. 20 over S9 there, a slight bit, just very slight bit of noise. But I got a question for you. Have you ever used split VFO operation either on UHF, VHF, or on HF? Because I remember a few weeks ago there was a gentleman in Europe that was listening on one frequency, but transmitting on another frequency 5 megahertz away. Have you ever tried it?
My VHF UHF does dual bands, like a crossband repeat. That sounds a little
Okay.
different. My HF
Yeah.
radio is just one-sided, so I can't do that. But sounds like fun. VE3TGL.
Yeah, absolutely, absolutely. They're especially when the guys have a big pileups, and so they know they're going to be heard. What they do is they transmit on, let's say, 15.200, or sorry, 14.200, and they'll be listening on 14.205. And so it's pretty interesting. Like my radio only has one band showing at a time, but it's got VFO A and VFO B. So I can use the split operation that way. But if your radio displays both, two VFOs, if it displays it, that's the cat's meow there. That's what you want. So, all right, I was just curious. I thought I'd ask around there, Uwe. Anyways, you're sounding good, my friend. Thanks for checking in. Do you have anything else for us?
Not really. I think I'm using the ICOM 7300 here, and I think it does A and B also, but not at the same time. I'm not sure. I have to look into that. I got all these radios with all the buttons, and I never press any of them. So I turn it on and tune it to the frequency I want, and I start talking. So many features. Anyways, yeah, that's about it. VA3TGL.
All right, very good, very good. Well, I think you got to look for the split VFO operation menu there. But yeah, maybe next week there you can let me know if you found it and if you've tried it.
Oh, okay. There's a button actually right above the tuning dial. It says split on it. How's that? Didn't even have to go find my glasses for that one. It's been staring at me all this time.
Yeah, that's like me looking for my sunglasses when they're sitting on my head, looking all over the house. We've all done that. Okay, Uwe. Well, thanks for that, and yeah, something new to play with if you want. Transmit on one and listen on the other. It's a lot of fun. Once I figured it out, it was like no problem. Okay, Uwe, you take care. Have a great rest of the evening and two more sleeps until it's Friday. Have a good one, my friend. So we're clear with VE3 TGL. And now let's go say hello to Steve, Victor Alpha 3, November Fox Golf. Come on in, Steve.
Good evening, Chuck, and everybody on net. I just was watching a movie there and realized it was after 8. So here I am, listening to your net, and in fact participating. Did you say the 857 has split? I didn't know that.
Yeah. The function is, of course, on the bottom there. You've got three different ABCs. So when you hit your function button, turn it until you see MW on the left, and the next one after that will be A equals B, and that's your VFO A and your VFO B. The split function will be on the far right at the bottom of the screen on that one.
Oh yeah, I see it. It is there. SPL. So does that allow me to run around with a portable around my house here, and then I'm able to utilize it that way?
No, it won't transmit it for you. It won't crossband it if your radio is not crossband. No, it's for transmitting on one frequency and listening on another.
Yeah, okay, Roger. Yeah, the 7300 has that. In fact, I checked the VFO-B to make sure they're and A to make sure they're both on the same bands. I hit the split button and keyed up, so I'm 14.313 right now, and the other one, the VFO-B, is 14.180. So I hit the split button, I hit the pedal, and lo and behold, it keyed down at 14.180. So there you go. I knew I had it, but very seldom do I hear of people using it. So, I mean, if there's a pile up somewhere and you don't want to hear it, I guess the way you were explaining it can be used that way, but you've got to be receiving on that as well. So how does that work?
Okay. So for me on the 857, I go to the VFOA or B, whichever one. And let's say I want to listen on 14.205, but I want to transmit on 14.200. So what I'm going to do is the first VFO, I'm going to have it at 14.205, and then the second VFO will be set to 14.200. So make sure you're back on the 14.205. You hit split, and when you key up, you're gonna transmit on 200, and you'll be able to hear whoever is transmitting on 205.
Yeah, okay. Well, the other party has to be set up that way as well, correct?
That's usually done for contesting, Steve. If you're getting tons of pileups and you're trying to give out your call, or you're trying to get back to a station, but you're not being heard because of the pileup, people use that option for that. You'll usually hear someone say, listen up, listening up, which usually means 5 megahertz up. Okay, it could be down, but if you hear someone say listen up or listening up, that's what that means. It's usually for contesting or when you're just calling out for contacts, right?
Yeah, Roger. Yeah. Yeah. Okay. Well, I'll have to watch a video on that and see how that works in the video for them.
Yeah, like I came across a guy a couple of weeks ago, and I kept hearing "listen up," and I'm like, "What the hell is he talking about?" So I turned my dial, and sure and behold, 5 megahertz up, I could hear a pile up of people, and so that's the frequency that people were keying up on, and he was on 5 megahertz away. So yeah, check it out on YouTube. It's probably easier to see it there than the way I'm explaining it. I apologize if I'm not really explaining it properly, but in my mind, I know how it works.
Yeah, Roger. Yep. Yeah. Yeah, I think I've heard actually somebody say that, and I thought he was about to tell a story or something.
Yeah.
Listen up. I'm like, this guy's got something to say. Okay. And nothing was said. I'm like, okay. Well, all right. Never mind. On to a different frequency. I'll get back to that one. But anyway, we're just in the shack now, and I'm prepping my wall here with the tuba caulking, and gonna put some primer on tomorrow morning. So very slowly, but very surely, it will come about. Anyway, that's all I got there, Chuck. Thanks for doing the net. I'll be hanging out for another hour-ish, and we'll let you get on to the next check-in. This is Victor Alpha 3, November Foxtrot Golf, back to net control.
All right. And before we even get started with On This Day, I just want to say today, Captain Kirk turns 92 years old. William or Bill Shatner was born on this day 92 years ago. Can you believe it?
Wow, is he still doing commercials?
He just flew to outer space a few months ago.
Well, he must be in half decently good health. Part of that was probably they were probably testing, flight control with an elderly person on board. Probably for statistical reasons, but good for him. How many 92-year-olds could say they flew to outer space? I bet you he's the only one.
Yeah. It was a select group of people, and obviously they wouldn't let him go unless he passed a medical, right? And did a very short crash course in training in that. So, but still, 92 years old, and he fulfilled, or 91, I think he was at the time, but nevertheless, he flew to outer space, floated for a little bit, and he cried the whole time, apparently. You'll have to read the story. I'm not going to go into it, but it brought him to tears. And but anyways, good for him, and happy birthday, Bill. Okay, there, Steve. We'll let you go for now, and let's go and say hello to our next check-in, which is Victor Alpha 3 Hotel Papa Romeo, I do believe. Is that Roger?
Yes, it's Roger here, and it's Victor Alpha 3 Hotel Papa Romeo. I'm talking to you from a QTH at the Burnham Thorpe and the 427. And I'm just listening along here to everybody. Say hi to everybody that's listening out there. And that's about it. Back to net from VA3 HPR.
QSL there, Roger. Well, my name is Chuck, and my call is VA3CJZ. And welcome to the Amateur Radio Exchange Group Net, which is on every Wednesday night. We're going on 30 years now that we've been on once a week, every Wednesday night at 8 o'clock. And it was started by a fellow you may know, John Sims, VE3 Juliet Sierra uniform. And so he's since retired, moved up north, and I've taken over the reins as net controller now for 4.5 years, almost 5 years now. And so welcome to the group there, Roger.
Yeah, I'm just sitting here playing on packet radio since I have one set up here. And that's about it for my QTH here on the 16th floor, Burnham Thorpe and a 427.
QSL. Well, you're doing an outstanding job. I think you're coming in full strength at my location, which is near the Center Mall, just east of downtown Hamilton. So thank you for checking in, Roger. Much appreciated. You're welcome anytime.
Yep, I'm listening along here from VA3 HPR.
All right. Outstanding. Very good then. Is there anyone else out there who'd like to join us here on the Amateur Radio Exchange Group? This is VA3CJZ looking for check-ins. Anyone, anywhere.
Victor Echo 3 Tango Whiskey Mike.
Victor Echo 3 November Whiskey.
Okay, I heard two stations there, TWM and November Whiskey, one of the Whiskey brothers. Okay, just stand by, Arpad, and let's go say hello to Tracy. Come on in, Tracy. How are you?
Hey, Chuck, doing real fine. You're in good voice tonight, and the signals seem to be pretty good. I mean, that fellow from the 427 banging in around 9S units into Burlington here. The other fellow, Steve, that preceded him, he's a 30 over here. And yourself, you're always booming into my station. VA3 CJZ, VE3 TWM.
Oh, very good there, Tracy. Very good. Yeah, Etobicoke or Burnham Thorpe and 427. That's an outstanding job from there. I wonder if it's a directional antenna, but nonetheless, the other fella, Steve, well, he's right on the edge of the Hamilton escarpment here, and so he can see everyone's antenna from there.
Yeah, that helps a lot, doesn't it? Good job. Yeah. So what's new with you, Chuck?
Well, for the last couple of weeks there, I've been doing outstanding on HF, especially the last two contest weekends. I think I added 15 new countries to my QRZ or to my logbook, and in the space of 1 week's time. And so this week the conditions are not good at all, and so I haven't been very active on the radio this week. But we're just waiting. There's another big contest coming up this weekend. There, I was going to make an announcement about that, but we'll just go ahead and say what is it? The Classic Exchange. No, the Worldwide Sideband Activity Contest. That's the one. We have from 6 meter, 10, 15, 20, 40, 80, and 160 for sideband this weekend for 2 whole days. And hopefully the HF conditions will be favorable.
Oh, well, congratulations on the 15 new countries. That's awesome. And of course, I've been working like a dog and other things going on, so I've had 0 radio time. So I keep hearing about these stories that other people are having and thinking, oh, okay, at some point in the near future, I got to carve out some time to make it happen. That's beautiful. So, well, what's your grand prize out of those 15? Which country were you most thrilled to get?
Actually, I think it was the Galapagos Islands. There was a D-expedition out there. I think that's, and then, no, I got Japan and New Zealand too. So there's a top 3 right there. I can't just pick one.
I don't blame you a bit. You know what, Chuck? I'm going to let you get on with the net. As always, I really appreciate all the work you do, all the work you put into this net, which is a group of really wonderful hams in the area. I appreciate them too. I get to listen to you guys. I don't often get to check in, but it's always nice to check in once in a while and say hi. So I'm going to let you go. And actually, I start to turn into a pumpkin after 9 o'clock. I get up early in the morning. So I decided this will be my last transmission for the net. But thanks again. Good night to everybody. 7-3 VA3 CJZ. This is VE3 TWM.
Okay, outstanding, Tracy. I do appreciate you taking the time out and checking in with us. It's been a little while, so thank you. And you take care. Try not to work too hard, my friend. And it'll be a couple more weeks before we can really go out in t-shirt weather, but I can't wait. We're slowly seeing everything in the backyard on the ground now. And so the front yard still has snow, though. Okay, Tracy, thanks again, my friend. Take care. We'll talk to you again soon. Clearing with Victor Echo 3, Tango Whiskey Mike. Let's go to VE3 November Whiskey. Arpad, come on in.
Hello, Chuck. Good evening to you. Yeah, just using my little handheld with 1/10 of the watt. Going through the crossband. The crossband is a Kenwood radio there, so yeah, you're sounding good. Everything is coming through perfectly fine. I just turned on the radio a couple of minutes ago, so yeah, not that much going on. And of course, Kathy just had to turn on the TV at this time. So I'm going to say 73 to you guys, and thank you very much to taking my call. Oh, by the way, thank you very much to recognizing the call. VE3 November Whiskey.
Okay, Arpad. Now it's you're making me want to look for a call with a whiskey in there. I can never turn down a good whiskey. Okay, Arpad. Well, thank you very much, sir. You're sounding great. Full strength signal, as always, at my location here in by the Center Mall. And so I guess you're going to be watching a movie now. By the way, do you normally? I don't ever hear you checking into that Trans Canada IRLP net there on Wednesday mornings at 11 a.m. It's on every Wednesday, and this is the first time I've heard you.
Yeah, you know what? I didn't know anything about that yet. I heard that before, Trans-Canada. Yeah, I heard about that net, but I never bothered. And when I was driving for my medical appointment today, I put my radio on scanning mode and stopped on UHM. And that was an accident. Let's put it that way.
Oh, okay. An accident. Yeah. Okay. Well, it's on every Wednesday at 11 o'clock in the morning, and there should be more of us. I know Vern checks in, and I try to let everybody know it's on, but not too many people from Hamilton check in. So it was nice hearing another friendly voice.
Yeah, roger that. I guess I'm going to have to put it in my calendar Wednesday. Or, hey, you know what? We have these smartphones now these days, and you can put in when you want yeah, actually, I may just going to do that. Going to put in what time is it? I can't remember. What time did you guys start with that?
Sorry about that. 11 a.m. every Wednesday. Which how I remember is because the AREG net is on Wednesdays. So Wednesday morning at 11 a.m. on the UHM repeater. They usually start off in British Columbia and then work their way back through Ontario. And they used to have someone on the East Coast, but ever since they had that big storm last year, it took down the station that was relaying there out of the East Coast.
Yeah, roger that. Yeah, I think what I'm going to do tomorrow, I wrote it down, so I'm going to make a note in my phone, and you can set up like when the alarm should come on, maybe 10 minutes, 15 minutes before that net, before 11 o'clock. Then my phone starts beeping, and then we know it's net time, right? So yeah, I may just do that. Yeah, that's fun to hear people cross. Is it are they going through IRLP or something, or how does it work, anyways?
Yes, sir. That's it. They link all the repeaters in the different provinces and in certain cities and use the IRLP. Yeah, that's exactly what they do.
Okay. Yep. Very good. All right. Thank you very much, Chuck, and you guys have a good night. And Kati is making me to watch Moby Dick. I don't know. Yeah, the movie came out in 2010.
Oh, okay. Very good. All right, Arpad. Well, thanks for checking in. Much appreciated, sir. You enjoy the movie and say hello to the missus for me.
Roger that, and thank you very much. 73 Chuck. VE3 November Whiskey, 73.
Okay, very good. All right, so that brings us to the bottom of the list. Let's see. Do we have anyone else out there who'd like to join us here on the Amateur Radio Exchange Group? This is VA3CJZ. Anyone, anywhere, please come now. All right, well, let's go to the top of the list and see if Chris is still there with us. Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Kilo Zulu. Chris, you there?
Hi, Chuck. Yeah, Chris is here. Yeah. That Trans-Canada net you fellas were just talking about, what repeater is that on, and how do I connect to it?
Okay, that is the VE3 UHM repeater. You could Google it and it'll give you the frequency there. But if you want to write it down, it's 442.525 and it has a tone of 131.8. So again, the frequency is 442.525 with a tone of 131.8. And don't forget I think it's a positive offset. But you can get all that information if you just go to Google and put in VE3UHM. And the first thing that comes up is repeaterbook.com. You want to click on that, and that'll bring you to the repeater book page, and it'll give you the information you need there as well.
Okay, thank you very much. That's great. I have the repeater bookmarked on my computer here, so I'll go in and check and see what it says on there. Anyway, I'm going to take off for the evening. 73s to everybody out there, and appreciate your time on this, Chuck. Bye now.
Okay, Chris, glad to help. And throughout the day, if you're, you want to talk or you want to ask a question or anything, I'm usually listening on this frequency. And there's always someone listening on the ZOE repeater. And the ZOE repeater frequency is 443.075. There's no tone. All you need is to have that little positive button showing, and when you transmit, it should read 448.075. So that's the ZOE repeater. Okay, Chris, we'll clear with you and say thanks for hanging in there, and hope you enjoyed yourself. It was nice having you aboard with us. You're welcome anytime. And so, excuse me, we'll clear with VA3CKZ. Let's go to my neighbor, VE3WKG. Kevin, are you there?
Yeah, VE3WKG still in here listening along. Boy, you got loads and loads of information tonight, eh? That's pretty good there. Yeah, lots of nation and helping out our ham brothers there in the community. Yeah, not much for traffic there. Just finished a coffee there and relaxing. I might have another one. Then be going to bed soon anyhow. So I'll be sticking around. I guess you'll be having another round in what, about a half hour or so, eh, Chuck?
Yeah. Depending how things go there, I do have to well, I already announced the only contest that's really happening this weekend, and so when things slow down a bit, we'll be doing the on this day. So we'll come back around next round in a little while there. So we'll let you go for now and catch you next time.
All right. Yeah, I'm going to make coffee. I'll be listening along for the rest of the duration of the net. VE3WKG.
All right. Very good. Okay. So let's go to the West End and say hello to VA3 November Charlie Alpha. Wade, are you still with us?
Yeah, I'm still listening along, Chuck. Lots of good information. I didn't know about the Canada-wide net there. I did know that there is a Canada-wide net on. It's one of the digital modes that you can get to from the phone. Because I checked into that once. They run them pretty frequently, but I haven't been on. I haven't been on that in a while now. So good to know about the localish repeater, and so maybe next week I'll give that a try. Check in and see if I can reach it. Sounds good. Yeah. Anyways, as Kevin said there, good information and good turnout tonight. I think we must be getting up there in the numbers. Anyways, thanks again, and I'll send it back to you.
Okay, Wade. Well, I don't know if you're talking about the Trans-Canada net on 7.100 megahertz. That's on every day. But I'm not sure of any other one at the moment. But yeah, every Wednesday at 11 a.m. on the UHM repeater there, drop in and say hi. VA3 WM. John from Niagara on the Lake there. He's the net controller for Ontario.
All right, another whiskey brother then. I'll put it in my calendar, and if I'm working from home on that day, then I'll take some time out at 11. That sounds great.
Okay, very good, Wade. All right, well, thanks for hanging in there, sir. So we'll just go down the list here and see if Tomas is still with us. VE3 Charlie Echo uniform. You still there, Tom?
I'm still here. I'm got my new the antenna hooked up here. I'm able to hear most everybody here. My signal probably should be a little bit stronger.
Wow. I think the wow was for your audio there. You're on the verge of being a little over the edge, but signal wise, you're a little lower at an S7, and before you were 10 over S9 on the other one. But the audio could be turned down a notch.
Okay, how's that? How's that any better?
Perfect. What do you say there, Mac?
Yeah, Thomas is always a little hot on the microphone, so I appreciate you backing off on it a little bit. But actually, the WOW was for the S9 signal. So when you switched antennas, I think you went from 6 to 9 to my station.
Oh, wow.
Chuck, you said that he actually dropped
Yeah.
some signal strength from the previous antenna.
Absolutely, yeah. From 10 over S9 to S7. Bring it back there again, Tom.
Yeah, I was using the Yaesu FT70D on that one transmission, that the one before. But for some reason, on this radio with this antenna, I can't hear RPAD at all.
Oh, okay. Yeah, well, he's got his, he was going through his crossband. I don't know if he's somewhere else in the house other than his radio room, but I would imagine so. Sometimes he goes out to the RV there and hangs out there. So I think he's only using a few milliwatts just to make it into his crossband.
Oh, okay, crossband. So in other words, he's transmitting at a different frequency, or what?
Yeah, he's probably transmitting from 70 centimeters over to 2 meters. But like I have crossband and I usually keep my radio at 5 watts because otherwise all the radio is doing is just transmitting constantly and it heats up the radio quite quickly.
Okay, okay. That explains it for sure. But anyways, at least I can hear a lot more stations on this antenna for sure. Yeah, okay, well, thanks for the report there, and nothing else to report from this end. I'm going to just listen for a few more minutes, and then I'm going to hit the hay. I'm up at 4:30 in the morning again.
Yes, I understand. I used to know what that was like, but not anymore. So very good, Tomas. Thank you very much for hanging out with us. And we stream this on YouTube, so you could always play it back and listen to yourself. The time right now is 9:13 p.m. So I'm sure if you were to put the slider down to 9:10 p.m., I do have a clock on the YouTube stream, and you'll be able to hear yourself. So good job. And you take care. Have a great rest of the week, my friend. Thanks for checking in with us.
Thanks, Chuck. Good night. VE3, CEU.
All right, very good. So that brings us to Mac, VA3IMW. Come on in, Mac.
Well, yes, sir, Chuck. Victor Alpha 3, India Mike Whiskey Friday, because that's what we do. It's been a fairly good week for radio. 10 meters has harvested some additional contacts. So I added another Argentinian station to my logbook, and this was, I guess, as far south as my contact to Chile. So it's the southern portion of Argentina, south of Uruguay. So that was interesting. And of course, there was another station that I made contact with in England. And of course, they're boasting 50 watts, and I think it was a long wire antenna as well. So a good setup, a well matched antenna. It goes a long way, and obviously band conditions are really key. But 10 meters is golden. So while things have been not so good on 20 and 40 meters, I've still been trying to reach out and make some additional contacts. But like you say, reaching out and touching Japan and stations out there in the 9,000 kilometer distance kind of gives you a good feeling and a good confidence level for how your equipment is performing. Still looking forward to some warmer weathers. I want to get my HF vertical antenna up and give it a test drive to see how it compares on the various bands. So we'll see how that goes in the near future. Anyways, somebody gave us some bad news just recently. I'm thinking it was you saying that we're not going to be in for very nice weather until we get into the month of April. So it almost looks like we probably came in like a lamb and are going to go out like a lion. I didn't even bother to look at my weather app to see what they're forecasting for the long term in the next 10 to 14 days. So hopefully it gets better sooner than later, and we'll just hang on and grin and bear it, because that's what we do. We are Canadians after all. Anyways, I'm sitting on the edge of my seat. Actually, I'm relaxing on the couch with my feet by the fire. But even so, waiting to hear what else you got for us for on this day. And there's the beep of the radio, so I'm not going to time out myself. And anyways, I'll throw it back to you, Chuck.
Oh, but I was so hoping you'd shut your radio down. No, I'm just kidding. Geez, where do I begin? Yeah, I looked ahead a month, and it looks like we're going to have this exact same weather till at least the 13th of April, at the very least. And so, and then we can get double-digit temperatures, but in the low to mid. So nothing extraordinarily to write about. So, unfortunately, but that's just one of those years where winter just wants to latch on for as long as it can at the very end. And so it's going to be one of those years. So it looks like I'm going to have to get myself some grow lights and start my seedlings indoors so they're nice and healthy when the weather is nice in May. So, but that's a story for another day. So, do you want to see if Art is still there while you're there, Mac?
Well, I can guarantee he's not, because he was going to toddle off to bed. So during the first round, he gave us his 73s. So
oh, okay.
Yeah, Art's already gone QRT.
All right, very good then, Mac. Okay, so we'll go down the list then, and thank you very much. And we'll get to those on this day there shortly. So let's clear with VA3IMW, and then go down to Huey, VE3DJZ. You still there? VE3TGL. You still there, Uwe?
V3TGL, I'm still here. I was just playing a video game here and had the radio on, so I heard my name, so here I am. Yeah, not much else going on here. Maybe I'll say 73s, and I gotta go up and get something to eat anyways. Yeah, 73 guys, have a good night, and let's get some good weather going in there. And your seedlings, yeah, I'm waiting for a good time here actually. I got my lights set up, and I got a bunch of seeds. I don't know what I'm going to start this year. See what happens last year. I'll probably start with a lot of kale. V3TGL.
Yeah, Roger. I know. I'm looking at probably around mid-April. We'll start getting serious about that. So, okay, Uwe. Well, thanks very much for hanging in there, my friend, and sharing with us. And you have a great rest of the week, sir. Go get something to eat.
Roger that. Talk to you guys all later. V3TGL 73.
Google cancel. All right, very good. For some reason, I triggered my smart device there. I don't know what I said, but I had to tell it to be quiet. Okay, so we're clearing with TGL. Let's go to Steve on the edge of the escarpment. Hey, you remember that soap? The Edge of Tomorrow. VA3 NFG.
Wasn't that the edge of night?
It's the edge of something. All right. Well, maybe Steve's getting a sandwich or something else. So we'll just move down and see if Roger's still with us. Victor Alpha 3, Hotel Papa Romeo. You still there? Okay, so that means the last two are also gone. That was Tracy, TWM, and Arpad is watching a movie. Well, let's do one more call out and see if anyone else is out there interested in checking in to the Amateur Radio Exchange Group. This is VA3CJZ. Anyone, anywhere, please come now. Okay, well, I did hear someone breaking my squelch, but I was unable to copy. Is there a station out there? This is VA3CJZ. Come on in.
That was Vern. Charlie Romeo Foxtrot.
Okay, well, let's try Vern. Charlie Romeo Foxtrot. Are you there, Vern? Can you hear me?
Good evening, Chuck. I can hear you. Maybe you can't hear me. Just out with a walkie and pretty close to the house, so I don't think I've got a direct shot to you. I'm assuming Mac is relaying me?
Well, yes, he was, but I can hear you now. I couldn't a few seconds ago, but come on in.
Yeah, just coming back from some volunteer work at the church, so I'll be heading into the house, but I've been listening along in the car, and I thought I would give you another bean for the pot. Back to you, Chuck.
All right. Well, thanks for changing positions. You are now an S8 to my location near the Center Mall there, Vern. Thank you very much for checking in. You're lucky number 13.
Hey, that's great. Garnett and I are always happy to be number 13.
All right. I know it's a tough job, but somebody's got to do it, right? Okay, Vern. Well, thanks for checking in, sir. Much appreciated. And I do believe I heard you this morning on the Trans-Canada IRLP net there. Over.
Yeah, roger that. I enjoy checking in on that net with John. I have known John for quite a while. We go back to the Mississauga Amateur Radio Club, maybe 15, 20 years ago.
Ah, okay. Very good. Yeah, John seems like a nice guy. I've known him for a little while. Never met him, but just through the radio. Okay, Vern, you got anything else for us before we move along?
Yeah, nothing else at this time. Pretty nice out here. The snow's continuing to melt. I don't know what the temperature is. It's probably like 6 or 7, but it's not bad at all, Chuck.
Yeah, my station is reading 5 degrees exactly out on my front porch there outside the CJZ studio. So yeah, for almost 9:30 at night, it's 9:23 p.m. right now, and 5 degrees. That's outstanding.
Yeah, we'll definitely take it, and I can't wait for this snow to be gone. We still have quite a bit around, but it's slowly dissipating.
Yeah, slow and steady wins the race. Okay, Vern, thanks a bunch for checking in, sir. You have a great rest of the evening, and I'm sure we'll hear you somewhere on the airwaves.
Sounds good, Chuck. Thanks for picking me up. I won't be around for a second round, so I hope everyone has a good evening.
All right, very good then, Vern. So we'll keep that in mind for our last round. And so let's do one more call out. VA3CJZ here. My name is Chuck, and I'm here in the East End of Hamilton with the Amateur Radio Exchange Group, AREG. And we're looking for check-ins. Anyone, anywhere, please come now. All right. So let's start off with on this day, 108. This is week 108 weeks that I've been doing this. And so we start off with birthdays going back in history as far as I deem it important enough to write down. So we'll start off with the birthday of Wilhelm I. He was born on this day in 1797. He was also the King of Prussia for the years between 1861 to 1888. And he was also the first German emperor from 1871 to 1888. He was born in Berlin in the Kingdom of Prussia, the Holy Roman Empire. I know it's not very interesting, but he was a person in history. Anyways, let's jump up to 1887 now, and we have Chico Marx. His real name is Leonard Marx, and some of you may know him as one of the Marx brothers. There is Cheapo, Harpo, and some other, I forget now. But anyways, he was born on this day in 1887. One of the Marx brothers, and born in New York City, New York, and he died in 1961. Okay. Next, we have Marcel Marceau. Now, some of you it may ring a bell to you. Marcel Marceau was born on this day in 1923, and he's a famous French mime artist and actor. He was most famously portrayed in the movie Barbarella with Jane Fonda. So he was born in Strasbourg, France, passed away in 2007. I do believe Robin Williams used to love doing mime, and I think he actually met him, and they did a little thing together. All right, so that's 1923. Now let's jump up to 1931, and we have Bill Shatner celebrating his 92nd birthday today, and he was born in Montreal, Quebec, back in 1931. So Captain Kirk, happy birthday, still around. Next, we got Wolf Blitzer, born on this day in 1948. He was or still is, I'm not sure, but he was a popular anchor on CNN. He was born in Germany. Next, we've got Bob Costas, born on this day in 1952. He's an American sportscaster and talk show host. All right, who has seen the movie Full Metal Jacket? Matthew Modine was born on this day in 1959. Born in California, still around. And then in 1972 on this day, we have Elvis Stoico. He's a famous Canadian figure skater. 94, 95, 97. Won the silver in 94 and 98. He was born in Richmond Hill, Ontario. Happy birthday, Elvis Stoico. Next, we have Reese Witherspoon. Celebrating her 47th birthday today. She was born in 1976. She's most famously known for her movie Legally Blonde and Sweet Home Alabama. She was born in New Orleans, Louisiana. And that wraps up the birthdays in history of famous people and celebrities. All right, we got a short list for people who passed away of note. We'll start off with Walter Lantz. Now, that may sound familiar. He's the creator of Woody Woodpecker. He passed away, Walter Lantz passed away in 1994 on this day, and he was 93 years old. He was an American cartoonist for Woody Woodpecker. Sticking with cartoons, we've got William Hanna, who passed away on this day in 2001. He's an American animator that did Tom and Jerry, Scooby-Doo, and so on. Flintstones, founder of the studio Hanna-Barbera. And he was 90 years old when he passed away in 2001 on this day. Oh, geez, this is a good night. Next, we've got Rob Ford. That's right. Doug Ford's brother passed away in 2016 on this day. He was the mayor of Toronto who was caught with cocaine, dies at the age of 46. I'm sorry for laughing, but I'm just having flashbacks of seeing him hanging out with druggies and that. Anyways, Okay, and here's another one you probably didn't know. 2018, this gentleman passed away. His name was Wayne Huizenga with an H. He's an American businessman, and he was the CEO of the company called Waste Management and Blockbuster. He used to own Blockbuster, and he was a sports team owner of the Miami Dolphins, the Florida Panthers, the Florida Marlins, and that's all there is. Okay. And he dies of cancer at the age of 80 back in 2018 on this day. Okay, so let's go to the events on this day in history. And we start off on a sad note here with the Jews once again being, I don't know. Anyways, in the year 1349, on this day, the townspeople of Fulda, Fulda, Germany, massacres Jews, blaming them for the Black Death or the plague, whatever it was called. So, yeah. And then we have another massacre. We jump up to 1622 on this day, the first American Indian massacre of Europeans in Jamestown, Virginia. 347 are killed. Okay, let's jump another 150 some years up to 1778. Captain James Cook sights Cape Flattery, now in Washington State. So Captain Cook discovers Washington State, basically. Next we got Thomas Jefferson. He is the first Secretary of State on this day in 1790. Thomas Jefferson was the first U.S. Secretary of State under President George Washington. Thomas Jefferson would later go on to be the third U.S. president in history and one of the founding fathers. His name is on the Constitution. All right, so that was 1790. Now, on this day in 1794, U.S. Congress bans United States vessels from supplying slaves to other countries. 1841, on this day, a method for alkali starch extraction is patented in the U.S. by Orlando Jones, and it would later become known as cornstarch, or applied to corn, which gave us cornstarch. 1873, slavery is abolished in Puerto Rico, and it is now celebrated as Emancipation Day. 1873. We have the Stanley Cup in 1894 on this night. At Victoria Rink, Montreal, Quebec, the Montreal Hockey Club defeats Ottawa HC 3-1 to win a 3-team challenge tournament. That's in 1894. All right, you need a drink? Don't go to Niagara Falls in 1903. 1903, Niagara Falls runs out of water due to a drought. There's pictures online of it. And so, 1903. And here we have in 1929, on this day, the United States Coast Guard vessel sinks a Canadian schooner suspected of carrying liquor. Can you imagine? Speaking of liquor, just 4 years later, in 1933, Franklin Delano Roosevelt signs the Cullen-Harrison Act, legalizing the sale of beer and wine with up to 3.2% alcohol. Woohoo! Okay, on this day in 1935, blood tests are authorized as evidence in court cases in New York. And here's another one. Yeah, I bet you guys didn't know. James Stewart, in 1941, on this day, is inducted into the Army, becoming the first major American movie star to wear a military uniform in World War II. And he's in the next story. 1944 on this day, American movie star Jimmy Stewart flies his 12th combat mission, leading the second bomb wing in an attack on Berlin. So Jim Stewart was a fly boy. 1946, on this day, the first U.S. rocket to leave the Earth's atmosphere and goes 50 miles in the air. Just so you know, 5,000 feet is about 1 mile, give or take. Okay, and then we have the first patent for lasers was on this day in 1960. And that patent was granted to Arthur Shallow and Charles Towns. Patent for lasers, 1960. And 60 years ago today, 1963, the Beatles released their first album called Please Please Me. In 1978, we have Karl the Great Wallenda, one of the flying Wallendas. He's a German acrobat, dies after falling off a tightrope between two hotels in San Juan, Puerto Rico. But get this, he was 73 years old walking the tightrope. I think he was past his prime. Okay, 1984 on this day, Islander Brian Trottier ties the NHL record and scores 5 seconds into the game. First 5 seconds. Boy, that's pretty quick. Right off the face-off. All right, in 1989 on this day, Pete Rozelle announces his retirement as NFL commissioner after 29 years. That's the guy I remember as being the NFL commissioner back in the day. 29 years, that's a long time. Okay, and in 1990 on this day, an Anchorage jury finds Captain Hazelwood not guilty of the Exxon Valdez oil spill. Okay, now we go to 1993. For all you computer nerds out there, Intel introduces the Pentium processor 80586. It's 64 bits and 60 megahertz. Woo! Yeah, I remember that. Okay, now we jump to 2019. Mind-blowing discovery announced of 518 million year old fossil site in Hubei province, China, with thousands of unknown fossils well preserved. So you heard right, 518 million years old. All right, well, I was going to make this one my last story, but I couldn't end with Prime Minister Trudeau. I just couldn't do it. So our next story is in 2022, and the Canadian Prime Minister Justin Trudeau's Liberal Party reaches a deal with opposition New Democratic Party to stay in power until 2025. So that scheme was hatched on this day 1 year ago. And also 1 year ago, we'll end this off with microplastics being found in human blood for the first time through new research conducted at Amsterdam University in Netherlands. So microplastics found in the blood. Wow. Okay. Well, that's it for events and birthdays and deaths on this day. I hope you enjoyed some of these little tidbits of information as much as I did saying them. Are there any questions or comments? Please come now. Oh, great. Very good then. So let's see if anyone else out there might want to check in to our Amateur Radio Exchange Group net, AREG. This is VA3CJZ. My name is Chuck, and I'm in Hamilton, and we are streaming the net live on YouTube. Just put in VA3CJZ, and you can watch us and play us back there. But for now, Does anyone else want to check in? Please come now.
Victor Echo 3, Victor Oscar Tango.
Hey, I thought I heard you today. Victor Echo 3, Victor Oscar Tango. Paul, come on in.
How you doing today there, Chuck?
Not too shabby, considering it was a pretty gloomy day. But being as it's AREG day, I was pretty chipper and having a good time here. What's new and exciting with you there? How's your mom?
She's doing great. She's got a bit of bronchitis going on, but other than that, she's doing really good, Chuck. Thanks for asking. I got my new vehicle out on the road, so I finally got a radio put in it today.
Ah, yeah, it didn't take you long, eh?
No, I got a truck from my brother there. It was already a safety net. All I had to do was put a transmission in, so I did that. So I'm on the road.
Ah, very good, very good. Yeah, we haven't heard you for a while there, so glad things are okay. And as far as the bronchitis goes there, I think I got a wee bit of that myself. There is sniffles going around this house, and my daughter says there's she knows people who are getting this cold or flu thing going around. So be careful there, people.
It's just like where did the COVID go when the flu came back?
Yeah, believe it or not, some people are still getting booster shots, for that.
Well, to be honest, I had two shots. I didn't go back to get any more because of the stuff I've been hearing through the state's news.
Yeah. You know, there's a lot of fact and a lot of those conspiracy theories going out there. Some of it is false, but some of it is true. Leaked documents that come out, and I don't want to get into it, but yeah. So my personal choice was also to quit that.
My mom did the same thing I did when I started to show her some of the stuff that I've been researching on the internet, and then some of not the mainstream news, but the other news outlet there. She goes, I'm not getting any more. She goes, I'm on your side.
Yeah, absolutely. Oh well. But okay, Paul, very good. You are check-in number, was it 14? Yeah, you're check-in number 14 tonight, so that's not too shabby. We usually average around 15 or thereabouts, so it's a good. It was a good night for check-ins tonight. There, thanks for checking in, Paul. Much appreciated.
I'm sure I'll be checking in more often now that I got a radio put in a vehicle.
Yeah, absolutely, and everybody hangs out on the ZOE repeater. So if you want to chat with anyone, just go to 443-075, put the positive offset on, and you're good to go.
I've already got that programmed into the radio.
I kind of thought you would. All right. Very good then, Paul. Well, thanks for checking in again. And do you have anything else for us before we carry on?
Oh, I did a check-in. You go ahead and carry on there, Chuck. Somebody else probably wants to give a little bit of a gab there. And good evening to everybody else that's sitting on the radio.
Okay, very good. So right now, Paul, it's and everyone else, it's 9:44 p.m. and it's still 5 degrees exactly outside the CJZ studio here near the Center Mall, and so it's very mild outside. I think we're not even going to hit 0 tonight. I think they're saying +1. So very good. We need more of that. Okay, well, let's see if anyone else is out there would like to make it number 15. This is Victor Alpha 3, Charlie Juliet Zulu with the Amateur Radio Exchange Group Net. And we're looking for check-ins. Anyone, anywhere.
Victor Alpha 3, Tango Bravo India, Trevor in Grimsby.
Okay, I'm sorry. Could you repeat that call?
Victor Alpha 3, Tango Bravo India.
Copy that. Victor Alpha 3, Tango Bravo India. Trevor, sorry, I didn't, I got a mental block when you said Bravo. So it completely went blank in my brain. Come on in. You're sounding good from Grimsby, are you?
Yeah, that's right, Chuck. Yeah, I've been sandybagging for a while. Thanks for not stopping the announcements on Justin Trudeau. That would have given me nightmares. You know, we're not supposed to talk about politics, but I can't stand that guy. Anyway, thanks for moving on from him. As far as COVID goes and the flu, I just got the 2 shots, the 2 main shots, and that was it for me. I was done with it after that. I think I had it a couple of times anyway, even though I had the shots. But as far as I'm concerned, it's over with now. Whatever happens, happens. Back to you, Chuck.
Absolutely there, Trevor. I feel the same way about everything you just said. And I agree. And yeah, we don't usually dwell on politics. But anyways, you're sounding good out of Grimsby tonight. You're just over S9, almost S10, 10 over S9. And so a slight bit of noise, but we can communicate directly without a repeater, no problem. So great job, Trevor. And thanks for finally checking in with us.
Okay, Chuck. Yeah, you're doing about the same back here. I'm in the east end, down around Bartlett Avenue, towards Beamsville, and yeah, you're all sounding good. Mac and everybody, you're all coming in here good. All right, back to you, Chuck. Thanks for doing the net.
I'd like to apologize for bringing up the politics. I totally forgot.
Oh, that's okay there, Paul. That's okay. And yeah, Trevor, it helps when you're on the escarpment there. Some of those guys are close to the edge of the escarpment, and well, some aren't, but they're still 300 or more feet higher than where I am. That's for sure. Down here in the bowl. But anyways, outstanding job out there from Bartlett Avenue, coming into my location and probably everyone else's just fine. So your check-in number 15, Trevor, I'll bid you a good evening. Thanks again for saying hello, and don't be shy. You're welcome here anytime. So let's see if anyone else is out there would like to check in with us before we start our 7-3 round. This is VA3 CJZ, looking for last call check-ins. Anyone, anywhere, please come now. Okay, well, I'm not sure if Chris said goodnight, but he's number 1 on my list. Let's give him a call. VA3 Charlie Kilo Zulu. Yeah, I think he took off. Well, that's okay. Let's go to number 2 on my list. VE3 WKG. Yeah, what's going on? No PDL tonight. No Rick AXJ. No downtown Richard. Oh, well. No OYL. But that's okay. Let's go to Wade. VA3 November Charlie Alpha.
VA3NCA here, yeah, I'm still around. Oops, you caught me though. I got to switch over to the earpiece. Anyways, good net again tonight. I think this is the 73 round, I'm assuming. Yeah. So good
yes,
net.
Sir.
I guess about 14 or 15 people, so that's a respectable number. And great way to spend Wednesday. So back to you, Chuck. Thanks again for doing it, VA3NCA.
Absolutely there, Wade. It's a great time to spend a Wednesday evening. It keeps me from shopping on Amazon. So thanks for sticking around with us there, Wade. Much appreciated. You're doing a fine job from the West End there in Dundas. So 2 more sleeps until it's Friday, and then the weekend for most people. Okay, Wade, anything else, sir?
All right, I'm having a rough time. Just hit the band button there and bounced over to 70 centimeters. But I'm back, and no, nothing else. I've done quite enough fumbling around for Wednesday night. So thanks, Chuck. 73 to all, and good night. VHNCA.
All right, very good, Wade. Thanks again, buddy. Have a good one. So next will be Thomas, but I think Thomas said good night because he's got an early morning. Art is gone, so that brings us to the timeout timer king, VA3 IMW. Mac, last call. You got 9 minutes.
Clickety click, bob a trick. Anyways, yeah, if you do hear Chris come back on the radio, just please tell him he needs to crank up his audio because it's almost painful trying to listen to him. I know he's dialed up the mic gain a little bit on his radio, but he needs to go. He needs to turn it up to 11. Turn it up to George or something like that. Anyways, you were mentioning some other folks that we haven't heard from tonight, and I'm going to say for a long time I've been looking forward to hearing North End Richard come out and say hello to us on the AREG net. So hopefully in the springtime he'll be able to get more active, and we'll be able to hear his usual dry humor and relentless stories of boiled cabbage. Anyways, it's always good to spend time with you guys on the radio, and it helps us get us through the week, right? Hump day. It's Hump Truck Day. No, that's not good. Forget I said that. Okay, backspace key, and keep up the good work on 10 meters, and keep on enjoying life there. Anyways, I kind of chuckled a little bit when you mentioned that you're going to get your grow lights and your seeds planted and other stuff like that. And what was it? Uwe came back and said yes, he was going to put kale in. Yeah, different kind of green. Anyways, I'll bid you 7-3s, Chuck, and I'll let you finish up, and I'll be sticking around either here or on ZOE. Depends on where people are headed. But don't forget to get the garbage out. Thanks again for running the net, Chuck, and keep up the heritage. 7-3s.
Okay, very good then, Mac. Yeah, that's another person we're missing is George. GBD. I did hear him. I think he had his granddaughter or grandson on his knee there, keying up on RPAD's net. But he's obviously busy with company there, so that's why we don't hear George tonight. But yeah, we're not going to go too far. We're going to take a quick break after the net, and we'll either come back here or on the ZOE repeater, so everyone can hear everyone a little bit better on a repeater. And so yeah, okay, Mac. Well, thanks for your company, for your help and relay and all that fun stuff. Hopefully you got a few chuckles in tonight. I'm not a comedian by any means. My name's not PDL. But in any ways, glad to have you as well as everyone else join us once again there, Mac. Let's see. Work from home tomorrow for you. So slightly easier day for you, right?
Yeah, I'm not really ready to comment on that. There's been a change of employment status. Let's just put it that way. So I'm going to be home for a while, but looking at some new opportunities. Anyways, yeah, and it's also going to change my approach for some upcoming Zoom presentations. So, yep, a little bit of surprise there. Anyways, I won't hold things up.
Okay then, Mac. Very good, very good. We'll maybe chat about that another time. But okay, then. I wish you the best. And thanks again, Mac. So let's move down the list and let's see who's next here. We have Huey. Are you still there? VE3DJZ. All right. I think Uwe said goodnight, but let's check. VE3TGL. Are you there, Uwe? All right, let's swing up to the edge of the escarpment and see if Mr. Renault is with us. VA3 NFG.
Yeah, hey Chuck and everybody who's left listening. Very good. Good net there, Chuck. Thanks for doing the net. We all really appreciate it every Wednesday night, tuning in and having a chit chat on 146 430. Absolutely. Yep. So I haven't picked up the caulking gun since I talked to you last. Did I even get one wall done? I think I got one wall done. How about that? Well, the primer's coming tomorrow, so as long as we get that done, we'll be all set. After that, what's after that? After I paint? Oh my God, after I look to the left side of my room, stuff's piled up 2 feet high. I gotta get some shelves in here, man. At least 2 of them. And then the soldering station's coming up next. Then I can throw all my junk underneath that. You know how it goes. Anyway, I'll let you get on with the 73 round, Chuck. Fine net, and we'll be kicking around somewhere here. VA3 NFG.
All right, very good, Steve. Well, I'm glad you were entertained for a little while. That is our goal, and glad you had a good time. Always a pleasure having you aboard, Steve. Good luck with your renovations there. Okay, so we'll clear with VA3 November Foxtrot Golf, and yeah, we got Kevin there. He's got a new call sign as well as our pad. So I think our pad is northwest and Kevin's going to be northeast. So can't wait to hear when he gets that to go through. Apparently he already paid for it, so just waiting to get confirmation, I guess. There you go. Another 2-letter call sign. So let's see if Roger's still with us there out in the Etobicoke. VA3 Hotel Papa Romeo. He's still there? Last call. All right. So the next person was Tracy. He said good night, early morning. Our pad's watching a movie. Vern might be in the house, but let's give him a shout. VA3 Charlie Romeo Foxtrot. Last call. Okay, nothing heard. Let's go to Paul, VOT. Last call, Paul.
I'm still here. Thanks for doing the net there tonight, Chuck. From what I've been listening to, it's been pretty good.
Yeah, sure. We usually try and keep things going and keep it lively. We try not to get any dead air. That's something they teach you in broadcasting, but I'm not broadcasting. I'm transmitting. There's a difference. And so we usually try to have a little bit of fun as well as keep people entertained. So thanks for joining us, even though it was late, Paul. Glad to have you aboard. You have a good rest of the week there, my friend.
You too, Chuck. I'm sure I'll be on through the week.
Absolutely. And sometimes after the net, guys go and meet up on the ZOE and chit chat, or they chit chat here. Either way, don't matter. So thanks again, Paul. So we'll clear with VE3 Victor Oscar Tango and see if Trevor in Grimsby is still with us. You are the last check in there, Trevor. VA3 Tango Bravo India. Are you there?
Yeah, I'm still here, Chuck. Still listening in. Good evening to everyone on the frequency. Have a good evening. Have a good rest of your week. We're almost to the weekend. I think it's supposed to get up to 10 degrees tomorrow, and then 10, I think, on Saturday. So it's a little bit of rain here and there, but as long as it stays mild, I'm okay with that. Back to you, Chuck. Oh, who did you say? You mentioned a guy that started the AREG net. Who did you say that was? I think you said John Sims. Is that correct?
That's correct. Yes, sir. Absolutely correct. He was my Aylmer, and John's call sign is Victor Echo 3 Juliet Sierra Uniform. So put that into the QRZ webpage there and look for John. He's actually living in Manitouwadge, Ontario. That's way up there in northwestern Ontario.
Was he by any chance, was he an electronic technician who worked for Motorola for a while?
I don't think so. But like I said, look up his call sign there. You'll get whatever info is on him there. And all I know is he started the net back in 1993 out of Dundas.
Oh, roger that. Okay. I used to work for a couple of Motorola dealerships in Hamilton. And I think one of the places I was at, I think there was a technician there that the name John Sims seems to ring a bell. But yeah, I'll see if I can look him up. Okay, Chuck. Thanks a lot. Have a good evening. 73. VA3 TBI clear.
Okay, Trevor. Sorry, that's all the help I can give you. But anyways, you take care and have a great rest of the evening there. So we're about to wrap things up. Are there any last minute check-ins, comments, or anything like that? Please come now. This is VA3CJZ. All right. Well, I'd like to thank everyone for joining us tonight here on the Amateur Radio Exchange Group. Oh, by the way, this is week 1,540 weeks that AREG has been on the air consecutively every week. In September, it'll be the 30-year anniversary. So thank you all for joining us. We'll be here again next week on Wednesday evening at 8 p.m. here on 146.430 for another edition of the Amateur Radio Exchange Group. Thank you all, everyone. This is Victor Alpha 3 Charlie Juliet Zulu signing off and returning the frequency back to normal operation. Thank you all. Good night.